All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are about ready to see the second bout of tonight's performance. All the way from Chicago, Illinois, from the Windy City Rollers, we're going to have the Double Crossers. They're going to be taking on your own Vaudeville Vixens. So first out, let us announce the ladies of the Double Crossers. Wearing 00, she is Rusty Brabender. She wears number 12, and she is in fact clearly dangerous. Number 16 is Cruel Whip. She wears number 22. She is Danny Get Your Guns. Wearing number 8 for the ladies in black, it is Iceberg. Number 7 for the Double Crossers is Joni Utah. Number 42 is the amazing Carmageddon. Wearing number 312, it is Illinois. Wearing 315 for the Double Crossers, it's Minerva Damage. She wears number 78. She is Reina Chaos. Number 10 for the Double Crossers is Sassy Squash. Wearing number 5 is Senorita Slam. She wears number 72. She is Sunshine and Painbows. And wearing number 18 and rounding out the Double Crossers roster for the evening, it is Yam Kapow. Those are your Double Crossers, darned if they're not. On the bench for the Double Crossers is Leggy Fleming, Payne Goodall, Who's Your Mama, and Sarah Problem.
The Windy City Double Crossers. And they're going to be facing off your Vixens. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2013 Vaudeville Vixens, number 01, Daisy Juke. Number 0W, Gertrude Awakening. Number 14, Darling Nikki. 117, John Snark. 102, Sugar Lumps. Number 22, Happy Go Lucky. 24/7, Dive Hard. Number 255, Tipsy Velvet. 350 degrees, team captain Susie Homewrecker. Number 45, Nefarious. She's working 9 to 5 when she's not playing roller derby. It's Dolly Pardon Me. Number 66, Mustang. Number 49, Donna Stunner. Number 7, Rascal. On the bench we have Indigo Destroyer and G Hell's a Poppin' and Peter Panties. Your mascots are Madam Knockabout, the Vaudevillain, Eartha Kitten, and Maya Make You Cry. Your 2013 Vaudeville Vixens! Your referees for tonight's bout, your head referee is Whistler. Your inside back referee is Gold Ducacha. Jam referees are Alcoholic and Checker Pulse. Your outside pack referees are Chaotic Neutral, Prefrontal Scortex, and Stabby McDude Bro.
Well, if you recall, last month we had another Windy City Roller team up here. That was the Fury. Fury are undefeated thus far. They pretty much cleaned the Unholy Rollers clock. I have it on good authority that the Double Crossers have yet to win a game in the Windy City Rollers home season, so hopefully the Vaudeville Vixens have a little easier going this month than last month. Starting things off on the jammer line for the visiting double crossers who are wearing the black. That is number 312, Illinois. Excuse me, Illinois. How'd I screw that one up?
And she's going against number 350 degrees, her team captain, Susie Homewrecker. Actually, Norb, we're very fortunate this season that we have Chicago teams visiting us for all of our home bouts. Our next bout will be on April 6th, and that's going to feature the Manic Attackers against the Quad Squad.
Always a treat to go to see the Windy City Rollers home games and watch them compete for the Ivy King Cup, which is awarded at the end of their home season. Anyway, we are off. Brown people and pink people jostling this way and that way. Black people and silver people jostling the other way around. It is too close to call right now. And around on the inside, our first lead jammer of the evening, number 312, Illinois of the Double Crossers. Neither team expressing an obvious preference for whether they want the front or the back of the pack. And finally around on the outside, beating Joni Utah. Oh, and heading straight to the penalty box, that is Susie Homewrecker. That's going to be a power jam right off the bat for the Double Crossers.
Darlene Nicky and Tipsy Velvet are doing their best to hold that jammer at bay. She's muscling through. And the rest of the Illinois pack is slowing down, trying to lure them into going outside the zone of engagement. It's a 5-point power jam right off the bat for Illinois from Chicago's Windy City Double Crossers.
You're not going to want to get in too big of a hole with a Windy City Rollers team such as the Double Crossers. They are a well-conditioned team. They're not going to wear down at the end. You can't be playing catch-up right off the bat, but that is what's going to happen. That's another grand slam for the Double Crossers, courtesy of Illinois. As you derby strategists know, if you have got the only jammer on the track, oh, and a nice how do you do from number 7 of the Vaudeville Vixens, that is your own Rascal, being rascalish indeed. If you've got the only jammer on the track and you're in a power jam position because you are the only people that can score, you generally want to slow the pack down so your jammer can score as much. Nice one-footed thing by Illinois. That's another grand slam. She looked like a flamingo, except she was the wrong color as she zoomed around turn 4 right before us. So the Vaudeville Vixens are going to find themselves in a rather early hole to the tune of, is it 15 points? 15 points it is. On the jammer line for the first time tonight for the Vaudeville Vixens in the brown and the pink, and that is number Gertrude Awakening. She's going up against number 16 ounces of Cruel Whip in the black and the silver of the Double Crossers. Well, jammers trying to squish their way through a pack that shows no signs of yielding the right of way. And Cruel Whip has one to beat. She does indeed. Lead jammer once again for the Double Crossers. Gertrude Awakening now on her scoring pass. The bad news is she has got miles to go before she can sleep. Wait, wrong poet. Cruel Whip trying to get through that wall of brown and pink. Nice job by the Vaudeville Vixens keeping out of reach. And that's only going to be 2 points for the Double Crossers. Could have been a lot worse. Well played by the Vaudeville Vixens. 17-0 is our new score at the all-important 26-minute and 35-second mark of the first period of the second game. On the jammer line for the first time in the second game, we have got Sunshine and Painbows in the black and the rainbow of the Double Crossers. She is number 72.
And we have been joined at the announce station by the Quad Squad's own Dreamboat Fanny.
Hello.
She's going to be picking up for Zoe Dashenhell, who was helping us in the first bout, helping to keep you in action, giving an insider's view on the strategies and the action on the track.
And Dreamboat Fanny got hung up behind a big 4 wall of Double Crosser black. That allowed lead jammer to go for the third consecutive jam to the Double Crossers. We got no pack being signaled, and we got out of play penalties being assessed on Double Crossers. Carmageddon taking a seat in the penalty box. We've got 2 Double Crossers and 1 Vaudeville Vixen in the penalty box. That is going to be an aggregate 1 blocker advantage for the Vaudeville Vixens while that lasts. three more for the double crossers.
And the double crossers are going to call off that jam. So this next jam is going to start with a 4-2 pack advantage for the Vaudeville Vixens. No, it's not actually. They've got two jammers in jail too. It's going to be even Steven. 2-on-2, one jammer for each side.
Yeah, we had kind of a belated low block call on Darling Nikki there. When you saw her spin out in turn 3, she made contact with the skater of the double crossers. That constitutes a low block. Joni Utah, number 7 for the double crossers. She's going up against Gertrude Awakening, number OW for the Vaudeville Vixens. And Joni Utah, lead jammer, double crossers.
Gertrude Awakening bursts through the pack, but she's not lead jammer. But she is ready to start scoring as soon as she catches up to the pack.
Joni Utah hits that pack, gets all 4 points. And no pack being signaled. Gertrude Awakening around on the outside. That's going to get the Vaudeville Vixens off the schneid. 4 points for the Vixens. Joni Utah trading punches with the Vaudeville Vixens jammer for the first pass. She gets her 4 points. That's going to add 4 points to the lead by way of an 8-4 jam. 28-4 is our new score. Double crossers have septupled up the Vaudeville Vixens right out of the gate. Senorita Slam, number 5 on the jammer line for the double crossers. They are wearing black and silver. In case you have amnesia and can't remember what colors your team wears, she's going up against Susie Homewrecker, number 350 degrees in the brown and the pink of the Vaudeville Vixens.
I got a shout out. G-Blood, you look great in pink and brown. Love, May, and Star.
And lead jammer being E says to Senorita Slam, number 5. That is 5 jams, 5 lead jammers for the double crossers. Senorita Slam had got hit pretty good out of off the jammer line by a Tipsy Velvet, but she managed to right the ship and earn lead jammer. We got a track cut being called out on someone, I cannot tell whom. Looks like Darling Nikki's going to take her second seat in the penalty box as Senorita Slam calls it off after matching 4-point jams. 32-8. That's 2 to the 3rd power versus 2 to the 5th power. I think everybody should drink on that.
And we have a battle of the sweeteners as Cruel Whip is going to face off against Sugar Lumps. I don't think we're going to see a lot of sweetness on the track, though.
There's a shout out. Welcome, AK, to your first bout. Congratulations, you are no longer a Derby virgin. From your favorite rink rat.
And the Chicago pack is doing an excellent job of holding Sugar Lumps in the back as Cruel Whip is going to get past Mustang, and Mustang's got to release her. She's outside the zone of engagement, and Cruel Whip is your lead jammer.
Both teams down 1 blocker, 3-on-3 pack. Now I spoke too soon. Dolly, pardon me, taking a seat by her fellow veteran Darling Nikki. That is going to confer a 1 blocker advantage to the double crossers.
And this is a shout out to Whistler. Your fly is open. Made you look. From 2 mischievous belly dancers.
Remember, the shout-out box is at the merch table. For $1, you can make us say silly stuff, and all money goes to the Madison Innocence Project. The shout-out table located at the shout-out box located at the merch table.
On the jammer line for the double crossers, now still enjoying a 24-point lead. That's number 312, Illinois. She is going up against number 7 for your hometown Vaudeville Vixens in the pink and the brown. That is Roscoe. And for the 7th time in as many jams, I think, indeed, the lead jammer goes to the double crossers, this time courtesy of Illinois.
Darling Nikki leaves jammer jail, leaving Dolly, in there all by her own self. And we got Gertrude Awakening with the star for the Vixens. And number 7,
Scores 36-8. That is 6 squared versus 2 cubed. Back on that jammer line for the Vaudeville Vixens. That is number Owl, Gertrude Awakening. She's going up against number 7, Jody Utah of the Double Crossers. Double Crossers in the black and the silver. Vaudeville Vixens in the pink and the brown.
Number 7 runs to the front of the pack and takes lead jammer status coming out of the second turn, while Gertrude Awakening is still being held back.
And Gertrude Awakening now on her scoring pass. Bad news is, Sugar Lumps is having none of that. She sends Joni Utah out near the penalty box, and that is going to confer just a little daylight. Gertrude Awakening now in and scoring points.
I got a big shout out to Shelly Mighty Mo, who's celebrating her 39th birthday again. Happy birthday, Shelly!
4 more points picked up by the Double Crossers. Gertrude Awakening also picks up 4 points, so kind of a horse apiece on that particular go-round. Jody Utah calls it off just as she meets Dolly Parton's hip. One more point for the Double Crossers. 41-12 is our new score on that jammer line once again for the Double Crossers. Sunshine and Pain Bows, number 72. She's going up against
Team Captain Susie Homewrecker, 350 degrees.
They are jockeying for position. Like somebody trying to cut ahead of me in the concession line. Susie Homewrecker does that sort of CFL type start where she is moving forward at the jam whistle, which is completely legal. The one thing you can't do is you can't be picking up momentum when you cross the jammer line. She, in fact, did not, but the results are the same for the 9th time of 9 jams. Lead jammer goes to the Double Crossers and number 72, Sunshine and Pain Bows. As Danny Get Your Guns will be taking a seat in the penalty box. That will be a 1-blocker advantage for the Vaudeville Vixens. However, their jammer is still not in the pack. Excuse me, not out of the pack. There's a difference. And Susie Homewrecker deposited on the infield at turn 4. That is going to allow the Double Crossers to sneak out and get a grand slam. 5 points for Sunshine and Pain Bows for the visiting Chicagoans.
And Susie Homewrecker cuts through the pack for make her first time. Makes her initial pass. She's free to start scoring.
Rascal just teed off on Sunshine and Pain Bows, and it had no measurable effect. She hit her with force equals mass times acceleration, and I think the force was there.
But not before Susie Homewrecker puts up 4 points for your Vaudeville Vixens.
We've got another shout out to Amy and Katie. I couldn't ask for better friends.
You could, but you wouldn't get them. Anyway, Double Crossers have now tripled up the 16 points. That is 2 to the 4th power for the Vaudeville Vixens. And speaking of 2, 1 or 2, Sugar Lumps is on the jammer line for the Vaudeville Vixens in the pink and the brown. She's going up against 16 ounces. That is Cruel Whip. And that's 2 to the 4th power. Weird. Sugar Lumps almost squeaking by on the inside, but she got hung up at the last moment. That is going to be another lead jammer for the visiting Chicagoans, the Double Crossers.
Sugar Lumps is through the pack, but she is not your lead jammer. And Cruel Whip's going to call this jam off before she can make a scoring pass.
I have found some keys, actually because a security guy gave them to me. If these are your keys, with a orange Fleet Farm keychain, and a nice key fob that looks like a Pontiac, but it's all broken. Oh, dude,
this looks like a TARDIS key, but I think it's
used to be a nice
for
Pontiac type key fob. If these are your keys, come get them. Otherwise, I'm just going to wear them as a decorative medallion.
And there's a flashlight that says Campbell House, Sauk City, Wisconsin. If these are yours, come get them or tell us where you parked. I could use a new car.
I'll set them here and we'll sit on them later. It's the Fleet Farm key fob that always. Oh my goodness!
The Vaudeville Vixens are
There
your
she
lead
goes.
jammers.
Looks like Tipsy Velvet will be seated in the penalty box. Cannot celebrate that outstanding first lead jammerdom of the season for Darling Nikki. Darling Nikki out, she's through. She gets her 4 points. She calls it off. 4 unanswered points for your Vaudeville Vixens.
Classic jam it and cram it strategy from Darling Nikki and the Vaudeville Vixens.
That last jam was brought to you by Just Coffee, bike delivered fair trade organic coffee, roasted in Madison.
Back on the jammer line for your Vaudeville Vixens, number Owl, Gertrude Awakening in the pink and the brown. She is going up against number 7, Joni Utah in the black and the silver of the double crossers. Joni Utah hitting the hole of that pack like Barry Sanders or somebody, but she is well behind Dolly Parton Me and a few other people. They're keeping her bottled up well nicely through the second turn. Now she's got one to beat. And one to beat is Mustang. Mustang's going to go out of play. She's got to let Joni Utah through. Joni Utah, your lead jammer for the double crossers.
That black wall is just proving impassable for Gertrude Awakening. She's forced off to the outside as Joni Utah comes through on scoring pass. Meets up with Dolly Parton and Sugar Lumps, but gets through for 5-point grand slam for Chicago.
Both teams down one blocker right now with Sassy Squash visiting the penalty box, already occupied by the Vixens' Tipsy Velvet.
I have an interesting shout out. Mark, it's over, and I am taking the potato with me. Whatever that means.
Well, way
St. Patrick's Day is
way to
enough
thwart an
holiday to
Irish
face
potato
without
famine.
potatoes.
And I think Joni Utah is going to call that one after scoring 3 more points. 57-20, 60-20 appears to be our score. As we dip
And
under
for
the
all of-
13.5-minute mark.
And for those of you that were hoping we'd be giving away the car at halftime, we've got an owner. Sorry.
Hey, if you lost your keys, we got them here. Just found them. Oh, good.
Back on the jammer line for your Vaudeville Vixens. That is number 350 degrees, Susie Homewrecker in the brown and the pink. She is going up against number 312, Illinois, in the black and the silver of the visiting double crossers. And before I could even utter those syllables, practically, Illinois is your lead jammer, and everybody else is for the double crossers. Susie Homewrecker on her scoring pass, as is Illinois. Staunch defense being played at the front of the pack by Darling Nikki and company for the Vaudeville Vixens, but not before 4 points can be added to the register for the Illinois and the Illinoisans. $64-20 is our new score. That is 2 to the 6th power versus 20, I guess. And on the
Another
jammer
shot.
line for the first time tonight, my apologies, we have got number 925, Dolly Parton Me for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Sorry about that.
Now you can go.
I have another shout out to Michael Cushing from Chucky. Happy B-Day. B-Day.
Happy bidet, that's kind of weird. On that jammer line for the double crossers is Cruel Whip, number 16 ounces. We have got Dolly and we have got her teammate down on a knee. That is going to allow the double crossers to pick up yet another lead jammer, and that's courtesy of Cruel Whip.
And Busty Barbender sent to the penalty box for a track cut as Dolly Parton Me muscles her way through the pack on her initial pass.
Dolly Parton Me put a real nice move on Clearly Dangerous right there. She had a swing and a miss. However, Cruel Whip has picked up 4 points and is lead jammer. Let's see how Cruel Whip gets on this particular rotation.
We've been rickrolled. Do you hear that? Ridiculous. Happy birthday, Shelly. Beta Sigma Pi.
And
That's 4 points for Dolly Parton Me.
Cruel Whip opting to play a little bit of a game of cat and mouse there. It does not work in her favor. Dolly Parton Me picks up 4 points. Now Cruel Whip counters with 4 points of her own, I believe. It's going to be a net gain of 0. But it sure was fun. 72-24 is our new score. 6 times 12 versus 2 times 12 on the jammer line once more for the double crossers. That is number 5, Senorita Slam. She is going up against number 7 for your Vaudeville Vixens, and that is Rascal.
We've got a happy birthday to our own Busta Crimes. If you see her, give her a birthday spanking.
Yeah, let me know how that works out for you.
Nice defense being played at the rear of that pack by your Vaudeville Vixens. Vaudeville Vixens Jammers got 1 to beat, but a forearm is sending Rascal to the penalty box. Power jam double crossers. There are legal parts of the body you can hit people with, and there's legal parts of the body where you can hit people, and your forearm is not one of those legal parts where you can hit somebody with it. Although the forearm smash is always fun. That's a grand slam for the double crossers.
5 points for number 5, Senorita Slam.
It's almost like her golden birthday.
A second grand slam and 5 more points for the Windy City double crossers.
We've got a shout out. Welcome to America to our new Irish friend, Matthew.
That was a nice hit by Nefarious, and there was also a nice shrug off of that hit by Senorita Slam, picking up another grand slam for the visitors. I don't know how you can hit anybody more squarely than that, but Senorita Slam was impervious. We got some kind of frantic referee hand signals going on, and 92-24 looks like our score at the 8 3/4 minutes mark. Joni Utah looks to be the jammer for the double crosser. She's wearing number 7 and black and silver. Gertrude Awakening appears to be the jammer for the Vaudeville Vixens. She's wearing number ow and pink and brown. And black too, just to confuse me. So we've got Reggie White's jersey number versus Johnny Gray's jersey number. And lead jammer for your Vaudeville Vixens. It is none other than Gertrude Awakening.
And the crowd am loving it.
Wouldn't imagine there'd be a real conservative approach with the score like it is. 4 points for the double crossers, 1 for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Just a reminder, parents, please keep your children with you. They're not allowed to roam around in the upper sections like number 315 and those 2 little girls up there. Please go back to your parents. They want you.
Let common sense prevail. Gravity and children is usually a bad, combination. That's sort of like throwing the baby out with the bathwater, minus the bathwater. On that jammer line for the double crossers, that is number 72, Sunshine and Painbow. She's going up against number 350 degrees, Susie Homewrecker. Susie Homewrecker out and through. Second consecutive lead jam for your Vaudeville Vixens. When we play sheephead, we call that a leaster. Status quo maintained. We dip under the 7-minute mark. We're going to have Gertrude Awakening back on that jammer line, trying to make it 3 lead jammerdoms in a row for the Vaudeville Vixen. She'll be going up against the visiting Cruel Whip, wearing 16 ounces in the black and the silver.
I've got a shout out. Keep on dancing, H. You're awesome.
None can deny that.
Cruel Whip is muscling her way through the front of that pack while Gertrude Awakening is being held behind that wall of black and silver.
Sassy Squash playing some real nice defense back there. That is beleaguering Gertrude Awakening. That's going to allow lead jammer to be picked up by the double crossers. Gertrude Awakening still embroiled in the thick of the pack like a veritable La Brea tar pit. She is out and through. She's on her scoring pass.
Gertrude Awakening is out, and Cruel Whip's going to call off the jam before she can put any points on the board.
And 98-25 appears to be our new score. That's a 73-point lead. It is 5 minutes and 39 seconds to go in the first half. On the jammer line for your Vaudeville Vixens, that is number 14 in the brown and the pink. That is Darling Nikki. She is going up against number 3, 112 of the visiting double crossers. That is Illinois in the black and the silver. Darling Nikki darts left, darts right, winds up in back of a floating 2-wall maintained by the double crossers.
And Darling Nikki bursts through to take lead jammer status coming out of that third turn, leaving Illinois in the dust.
That is 3 of the last 4 jams. The Vaudeville Vixens have taken lead jammer. Things are at least looking up. They're behind a substantial amount of points, but of course this is roller derby, and if we had $1 for every time we told you that anything can happen, we'd be not needing to do this. Big hits in that back. Darling Nikki still behind a big 3-wall of double crosser. She's out, she's through. That's going to be 4 points for your Vaudeville Vixens. Back whooshing by, a nice defense being played by number 22 of the Vixens. That's Hoppy Go Lucky.
You like to talk, don't you, a little bit? You're really good at this, by the way. You are! Happy birthday, Schmoopy, the green mohawk lady from Schmoopy.
No, you're Schmoopy. Well, once again, Darling Nikki picks up 4 points. I beg your pardon. That's a grand slam for Darling Nikki and the Vaudeville Vixens. Four points picked up by Illinois on that go-round. Darling Nikki is escorted out by a wall of double crossers. She's going to call it off, ending the scoring.
With 3 minutes left in the half, we'd like to invite the finalists in our steampunk costume contest to please come down by the DJ booth so we can judge you and give you prizes.
On the jammer line once again for the double crossers, that's number 7, Joni Utah. She is going up against number 66 in the brown and the pink. That is Mustang for your Vaudeville Vixens. 65-point deficit, I believe, if you're scoring at home. Both skaters finding the going a bit tough, but Joni Utah around on the inside. Joni Utah, your lead jammer for the double crossers. Meanwhile, Mustang in hot pursuit. She is on her scoring pass. Joni Utah is going to be, she's going to just score 2 points, call it off. Mustang was approaching hot on her heels like a real Mustang, the kind with a gas pedal. 2.5 minutes to go. Probably get a couple more jams in before the half. Back on said jammer line, we've got number 350 degrees. That is Susie Homewrecker. She is going up against number 72 in the black and the rainbows. That's Sunshine and Painbows for the double crossers. And around on the outside, lead jammer for the double crossers. That is Sunshine and Painbows. And Whistler is sending Yam Kapow to the penalty box. And everyone is signaling no pack. People are packing back up. That is going to allow the Vaudeville Vixens jammer to break free on her scoring pass.
Got a shout out to Mom. Ready? Let's go, Vixens!
However, that's going to be 4 points for Sunshine and Painbow. She's going to call it off before Susie Homewrecker gets a chance to score any points. 108-37 shall be our score. We're under 90 seconds to go in the game clock. This may or may not be our last jam of the first period. Back on the jammer line for the double crossers is number 5, Senorita Slam. She's going up against number Ow, Gertrude Awakening for your Vaudeville Vixens.
We're still looking for Lau Lau, Baron Edward Lazard, and Lady Claire for the steampunk contest. Please come down to the DJ booth.
Everybody getting pushed to the outside initially. Both skaters regained their senses. Double crossers still pressed to the outside. Nice defense being played by both teams. They're not giving up the inside. They're forcing everybody to the outside. They're sealing it off when people get to the outside. Now 2-blocker disadvantage for the double crossers. Let's see if the Vaudeville Vixens can make this pay off. They cannot. Lead jammer, Senorita Slam, number 5 for the double crossers. And it looks like Senorita Slam is going to attempt to make this the last jam of the period, although that remains to be seen. Both skaters now in scoring position and around on the inside. My goodness. That's the Vaudeville Vixens with 4 points, courtesy of Gertrude Awakening.
We're still waiting for Lady Claire for the steampunk contest.
Senorita Slam's now going to have to get all the way through that pack just to make up the points she yielded to Gertrude Awakening on that particular pass and keep things even.
Let me say it. Hey, Lady Claire, if you're in the house, come on over to the DJ booth.
And that particular hit is going to be enough to motivate Senorita Slam to call it off after scoring 3 points. That's going to be our half with, if I don't miss my guess, the double crossers up by the score of 111-41, a 70-point deficit for the hometown Vaudeville Vixens.
It's refreshment time, folks.
Taste that beats the others cold. Pepsi pours it on. Taste that beats the others cold. Pepsi pours it on.
And now, on with the show.
All I know is I hope that person that won the $20 gift certificate to Mad City Music Exchange uses 15 of it to buy my book. I could use the money. Anyway, period 2 of game 2 commences apace. And on that jammer line for the double crossers, we have got number 3-1-2 in the black and the silver. That's Illinois being nudged to pieces by number 14 in the brown and the pink of the Vaudeville Vixens. That's Darling Nikki. Darling Nikki getting dislodged by Sunshine and Painbows. No one making much headway. Illinois having to re-enter the pack from the back after being deposited in the infield.
Hey kids, get out of there. Yeah, you. Go sit with your parents.
And we've got Rascal heading to the penalty box. And roast, and Illinois is your lead jammer, just microseconds ahead of your Vaudeville Vixens jammer, Darling Nikki. Yes, please do not run around up there.
I'm going to give a shout out to Malat's Pharmacy, because Malat's is where us Derby girls go to get their accessories, makeup, what have you. Thank you, Malat's. Locations on Madison's east and west side, and new locations in Lodi, Wanakee. They have costumes, wigs, and theater makeup.
It seems
And
eminently
this hat.
convenient. Indeed. On the jammer line once again for the Vaudeville Vixens, that is number Owl. That is Gertrude Awakening in the pink and the brown. She's going up against Cruel Whip. Cruel Whip around to the inside. Very swiftly obtains lead jammer status for the double crossers. She's number 16 ounces. And she is on her scoring pass and well positioned to do so. Gertrude Awakening now out on her scoring pass, but she is about 7/8 of a lap behind Cruel Whip. Cruel Whip has been escorted to the outfield by Sugar Lumps. That is going to take the edge off her scoring barrage.
I got a happy birthday shout out to Elise, and congrats on moving to the Netherlands. May the force be with you.
Force or Norse?
Looks like we've got a palindrome score once again, 41 to 114. If your religion suggests that you imbibe when you have a palindrome score, please take note of that and make that happen. Back on the jammer line for the double crossers, we got Sunshine and Painbows, number 72. What? Yeah, it's a full house. And we got number 350 degrees. That is a Susie Homewrecker for your Vaudeville Vixens.
Susie Homewrecker!
And for the second time this half, we have got lead jammer going to the double crossers, this time courtesy of Sunshine and Painbows number 72.
Come on, let's go, Vixen!
Rascal and Darling Nikki putting kind of a malachi crunch on Sunshine and Painbows, but she withstands that. And she's through for a grand slam for the double crossers. That is 5 more points adding to the lead and wrecking our palindrome score. We've got Susie Homewrecker getting knocked from infield to outfield. She has yet to embark on her scoring pass, although that moment looks due. Illinois with a little face blocking on Susie Homewrecker. That is going to slow her up and send her back to the midst of the pack. Meanwhile, Sunshine and Painbows has got Darling Nikki to beat. She beats her. That's another grand slam for the double crossers.
And I've got to shout out to Ann and Laura, the 2 greatest moms ever. What does this say? I can't read it. You helped you reach your goals. Good job.
The inside of the track being packed up nicely by both teams. Now the pack is a little spread out. 5 more points, an additional grand slam for the double crossers. That is going to start the half and bang up form for them. 129 like the Angry Samoan song, Psych on 129 for the visitors. 41 like Dirk Nowitzki's jersey number for the Vaudeville Vixens, who will send the Sugar Lumps number 1 or 2 onto the jammer line to go up against number 7 Joni Utah, who has been a veritable wrecking crew for the ladies in black and silver, who are the double crossers.
Hey, Denim Dan, come over here, please.
If someone proposes to Denim Dan at this bout, I am swearing off roller derby. And lead jammer for your Vaudeville Vixens. That is Sugar Lumps.
With Joni Utah hot on her tail.
Please do not run around up there, please. Please, running kid. Please do not run up there, please. We're going to slick the stairs down with whale oil.
Denim Dan, I see you over there. Come over here, please.
Back on the jammer line for your Vaudeville Vixens, that's number 14, Darling Nikki. She's going up against Senorita Slam in the black and the silver. And the green thing that looks like a polka dots or bells. But she's for the double crossers either way. Oh, Senorita Slam heading to the penalty box for a forearm. That is a power jam for your Vaudeville Vixens.
And it couldn't come at a better time.
Darling Nikki, everybody.
Vaudeville Vixens coach is telling him to just turn the power off and move slowly like molasses uphill in January. Whistler saying there's no pack. Vaudeville Vixens get a little closer. So now the ref is saying the pack is in the back. Everybody else is a statistical outlier, and that's a grand slam courtesy of Darling Nikki.
Now remember, Darling Nikki only has passed the 3 skaters on the track to pick up 5 points for the 2 that are in the penalty box.
That's another 5 points. Another grand slam for your Vaudeville Vixens, suddenly resurgent. However, Dive Hard is going to be taking the seat in the penalty box. That is going to even up the blockers at 3 apiece. Still, where it counts in the jammer line, it is a power jam Vaudeville Vixens and another grand slam for number 14, Darling Nikki. Rascal now taking a seat. That is going to put the double crossers at a 1 blocker advantage, but not before Darling Nikki scores another 4 points. Suddenly that score line looks a whole lot better. It's 129-60 as we tip under the 23-minute mark of the second period. On the jammer line for the double crossers for what I believe to be the first time in the contest, that is number 12, Clearly Dangerous. I'm going to say that again. That elicited a great crowd response. That's number 12, Clearly Dangerous. Oh. Well, she's going up against number 1 or 2, Sugar Lumps for your Vaudeville Vixens.
Cutting through on the inside, Sugar Lumps take lead jammer status coming out of that third turn. Clearly Dangerous breaks through the pack on her initial pass.
Clearly Dangerous chasing. We've got only 2 blockers in the pack for the Vaudeville Vixens. We have got a blocker advantage for the double crossers. And she is not making a peace sign. She's saying, I scored 2 points. Please recognize my authority. They do indeed. 2 points for Sugar Lumps. 2 unanswered points. 129-62. Our new score. Still in favor of the double crossers. Back on the jammer line for said double crossers. That's number 312, Illinois. Time out is being taken by the Vaudeville Vixens, who will send number 350 degrees Susie Homewrecker to the jammer line when all said and done.
Well, we've got a timeout here. We've got Nutsy Mutts and Crazy Cats. Naturally Fun Pet Products, locations at 330 West Lakeside Street and 555 South Midvale. The funkiest finds for your furry or 4-legged friend in town. And Denim Dan would like to say a shout out to Darieris, Sprocket, and Carrie Hacksaw. Good to see you supporting MRD. Hope to yell at you sometime soon. Love, Denim Dan.
And we have a Twitter question from Luke. Why did the team show their hands and wrists to the referees? Well, during the equipment check, it's very important. We take our safety of our skaters very seriously, and they want to make sure that they were wearing the proper wrist protection.
And worse yet, if you're not wearing your official wrist guards, that voids the insurance policy and you're in big trouble.
Give us the bird. Send a tweet to @AskMRD, and we'll answer your questions.
I'll give you the bird.
I know you will.
And Illinois darting to the outside, to the inside. Sunshine and Painbows is having absolutely none of Susie Homewrecker, who is now caught between a big old licorice-colored 3-wall in the back. Oh, but undaunted, your lead jammer for the Vaudeville Vixens, number 350, that is a Susie Homewrecker. Wrecker.
Number 42, Carmageddon's on her way to Jammer Jail. Giving the Vaudeville Vixens a 4-2 pack advantage.
Susie Homewrecker took a real nice angle on that, but she just went a little bit more quickly than the law of gravity and coefficient of starting friction would allow. She's got to call it off from a seated position. But yet she keeps the double crossers off the board. 129-65 is our new score. 3 unanswered points for your Vaudeville Vixens. Back on that jammer line, jacked up. That is number 7, Joni Utah for the double crossers, and number 1 or 2, Sugar Lumps for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Sugar Lumps tries to pass on the outside, gets knocked out of bounds, but is able to sneak back through and gets sent to Jammer Jail. And she is none too pleased about it. That is going to give Joni Utah a power jam situation as she cuts through the pack on the 5th turn. And she is your lead jammer.
Sugar Lumps
Dolly Pardee is also on her way to the penalty box.
If you don't like people, you're going to like this jam, because this has got about the least amount of people you can have on a roller derby track at once and still have a legal game going on. I know I'm a bit of a misanthrope, so I embrace the lessened human density. And Whistler is now calling out number 117, Jean Du Snark. I don't think she's going to have anywhere to sit. She does not. She's got to take a number. Wait for a spot to open up. Meanwhile, that is a grand slam for Joni Utah, number 7 of the double crossers. Vixens with just 2 blockers on the track, and one is sort of a lame duck who is going to have to visit the penalty box as soon as they make room for her. Meanwhile, Double crossers score a few more points. They've got 144. That's 12 squared. That's 1 gross. Meanwhile, Vaudeville Vixens has 65, like the Beatles 65, which was actually released in the waning hours of 1964. On that jammer line, once again for your Vaudeville Vixens, number 14, Darling Nikki in the brown and the pink. She's going up against Senorita Slam for the double crossers, wearing number 5 in the black and the silver.
Hey, do you guys know where the after party is tonight?
I've heard like 3 different answers to that question. I can't
There
get
are
it
3
straight.
different answers to that question because there's 3 different after party places. Shamrock Bar, Paradise Lounge, and The Frequency. We hope to see you all there tonight.
And where are those bars located, pray tell, Dreamboat Fanny?
They're downtown Madison on West Main Street, just off the Capitol Square.
Well, heck yeah, that sounds like fun. I bet you get in free with your ticket stub and everything.
Yes, you do. Bring your ticket stubs, you get in free.
And a major forearm, which is the only kind we have, is going to be sending Senorita Slam to the penalty box. It is now a power jam for the Vaudeville Vixens.
And speaking of tickets, our next bout is April 6th here at the Coliseum. We roll on Shabbos, featuring a Big Lebowski costume contest.
We had a reasonably penalty light first half, as I recall, but this second half is anything but. Penalty box clogged up with just about as many people as there are on the track. But be that as it may, that is a grand slam for Darling Nikki and the Vaudeville Vixens. And many more. That is an additional grand slam for Darling Nikki and the Vaudeville Vixens.
If anyone wants to feed these hungry women, you may feed the dogs. Ian's Pizza is going to be feeding us tonight. Ian's Pizza located on State Street.
If you like Darling Nikki and Grand Slams in the Vaudeville Vixens, you're liking this jam a lot. If not, then seek amusement elsewhere. Big old jam for Darling Nikki. She scored more than her jersey number, I do believe.
Absolutely.
I think that was 15 unanswered points, I believe it was, for the Vaudeville Vixens. 148-80 is our new score. 68 points our deficit. 16 minutes and 22 seconds our time. Sugar Lump's going back to the jammer line for the Vaudeville Vixens, wearing number 1 or 2. She's going up against Cruel Whip for the double crossers, wearing number 16 ounces. Once again, lead jammer for the Vaudeville Vixens. That's Sugar Lumps.
Sassy Squatch and Tipsy Velvet on their way to Jammer Jail, giving the Vaudeville Vixens a 3-2 pack advantage.
And we got a little,
Sugar Lumps.
jammer on jammer action. That's another grand slam for Sugar Lumps and the Vaudeville Vixens.
Now their sponsor tonight is Willie Street Co-op. We are a full-service grocery cooperative specializing in natural, organic, and locally produced foods.
I seem to remember an Aesop's fable that said the gods help those who help themselves. Well, the roller derby gods were obviously smiling on Sugar Lumps because she cleared out the double crosser jammer like nothing to score that final jammer lap point. 152-85 is our new score. 67 points is our deficit. 15-15 is our time of day. Got a timeout assessed to the double crossers. Both teams have used 1 timeout and have 2 remaining.
And I have a shout out. Va Vixens, you can do this.
Yeah,
Let's go pink
can we
and
shout out
brown.
for the Vixens? Let me hear it. Come on, let me hear it. We'll try again next time.
If you want the vaudevillain to give you candy, you have to shout.
Back on the jammer line for your Vaudeville Vixens, that's number 7, Rascal. She's going up against number 3, 112, Illinois. Number 312, there was some sort of helmet cover entering the jam, and it's all good. Illinois, your lead jammer, Illinois, upends herself. She is now being tailed rather hotly by Rascal. Rascal now taking inside position. They are jockeying for said position. And Illinois is going to play it close to the vest. She's going to call it off. No one's going to score. Status quo maintained.
Jack, did you know one of our sponsors was Verona Wine Cellar?
I did not.
Yeah, they're located locally owned and operated, specializing in wine and craft beer. Home of the Grape Whisperer.
Is that cellar with a C or an S?
See?
Oh, they sell it, so I thought it
Oh,
could be
selling,
S.
yeah, that's really clever.
I try. And we have Gertrude Awakening facing off against Joni Utah. A little bit of the stumble from Dolly Parton knee on the line, and coming out of the second turn, we have a bunch of skaters heading into the third turn. Joni Utah forced off onto the inside by Mustang. She sneaks around the outside and takes lead jammer status.
Joni Utah with her umpteenth lead jammerdom of the game thus far. Oh, dodge and weave goes right around Mustang. That is, if I read my fingers correctly, another 5 points and another grand slam for Joni Utah. Meanwhile, Sassy Squatch taking another seat in the penalty box. She had been theretofore vacated. Tipsy Velvet joining Sassy Squatch in the penalty box.
Grrr! That jam was brought to you by Wilde Easttown Honda. Be a lead jammer and call off the jam for Grand Slam savings at Wilde Easttown Honda.
Back on the jammer line for the double crossers, number 72 in the black and the rainbow. That is Sunshine and the Painbows. She is going up against number 350 for your Vaudeville Vixens. That's Susie Homewrecker. Got a lot of pushing and shoving and stomping. The end result is that lead jammer is conferred to number 72 in the double crossers. That's Sunshine and Painbows. Sunshine and Painbows around and through. That is going to be a 4 points for the double crossers. Susie Homewrecker on her scoring pass has racked up some points. Perhaps with more to come. Meanwhile, double crossers maintaining tight control of the front of that pack. Vaudeville Vixens in the back.
They're just running a class in offensive roller derby tonight. As Sunshine and Painbows being held back by Darling Nikki. Knocked out to the inside, she calls off the jam before Susie Homewrecker put any more points on the board. Susie Homewrecker gets 2 for the Vixens.
You know, us Derby girls get hurt a lot. Did you know that, Jack? Did you know that?
I did know that, Fanny.
Well, Integrated Sport and Spine can help us feel better, and they'll help you feel better too. Come on.
$169.87 is our current score. However, lead jammer for your Vaudeville
lead jammer coming
Vixens.
out of the third turn. And Senorita Slam being held back by Joan de Snark and Mustang. We've got a lot of ground to make up in 10 minutes, Vixens fans. Let's make some noise.
Yeah! Raise the roof!
You have them trained very well. Clearly dangerous proves just that. Sends the Sugar Lumps sprawling to the infield between turns 4 and 1. or the back straightaway, or whatever the heck it's called. I don't watch enough NASCAR to be fluent in, oh my goodness, around like snot on a doorknob. That is number 1 or 2. That's Sugar Lumps with 4 more points for your Vaudeville Vixens.
Well, Sugar Lumps is sneaking up on a milestone here tonight. And she has. Sugar Lumps just scored her 600th career point. Let's hear it, Vixens fans.
Back on that jammer line under the 10-minute mark, we've got number 7 Rascal for the Vaudeville Vixens as she is going up against number 3-1-12. Not 3-1-12, 3-1-2. That's Illinois in the black and the silver of the Double Crossers.
Now, these two jammers have been fairly equally matched as they've been facing off. Let's see how they do this one. And Illinois sneaks around the outside on the first turn and comes her lead jammer and wipes out on the second turn.
Illinois took a real substantial and nice hit from a happy-go-lucky.
And Rascal busts through the pack. She's not lead jammer, but she's ready to start scoring.
Vixens tightening up the defense at the front of that pack, but Illinois out and through. That's going to be 4 more points for the Double Crossers. Unanswered. Didn't see if the Vixens scored or not.
Well, with all those double crossers in the back of the pack, Illinois really didn't have a choice because Rascal was ready to start scoring at any second. Now we've got Joni Utah in the black and silver facing off against Gertrude Awakening in the pink and brown.
You've got tattoos, right?
A couple.
Did you get some at Ultimate Arts?
Several of them.
Very nice. They're one of our sponsors tonight. Thank you, Ultimate Arts.
Best place in town to get poked. Probably the second best place. Joni Utah takes lead jammer status coming out of that third turn as Gertrude Awakening is struggling to get through the pack.
I don't know, there was something about some scoring table thank you thing that only got half read.
All the seats in Jammer Jail are empty. Both packs are at full strength, and we almost just lost a referee. Susie Homewrecker facing off against Sunshine and Painbows for your Windy City Double Crossers. With Tipsy Velvet, Nefarious, and Rascal blocking, along with Karma, number 42.
181 is the sum of 2 squares.
Carmageddon, Danny, get your guns. And Sunshine and Painbows is through coming out of the second turn as your lead jammer, and Rascal is on her way to keep Sugar Lumps company in Jammer Jail. Sunshine and Painbows cuts through. Passes 2, scores 4.
I'm going to give a shout out to WMMM 105.5. World Class Rock, program locally in Madison for Madison. Triple M.
Hey, you want to know a secret?
No.
Okay.
Yes?
Dolly Pardon Me is only 3 points away from scoring her 500th career point.
Oh my God. Cruel Whip was cruel indeed.
She is not sweet, that one. And Mustang is on her way to Jammer Jail. That's going to give the, there's not going to be any room for her. She's going to have to keep on going. Dolly Pardon Me still trying to get through on that initial pass.
Jean Dusnark doing a real nice job drawing
There
that
she
back.
goes.
Let's cheer on Dolly. She just needs 3.
All right, Dolly.
Go, Dolly. Go, Dolly.
Is there 3 points? 1. Whoa.
Whoa. Come on, Dolly.
Come on, Dolly.
1, 2, 3, 500 career points for Dolly Parton Day!
Woo!
That was fun to do. And now that she's done that, she's going to go to the penalty box.
500 points. There you go.
She worked hard. She deserves a rest. Now, as soon as she sits down, Cruel Whip will be released, but Dolly will only have to serve the same amount of time that Cruel Whip served. That's how it works when you have a jammer swap. I could really go for a jammer swap about now.
I'm not sure if you folks bet the over or the under, but I'm inclined to think the over is paying. Vaudeville Vixens have hit the 10 squared, the triple-digit mark. So that's cool. Meanwhile, we have got...
And now Cruel Whip's on her way to Jammer Jail, where Dolly Parton will be released as the jam clock runs out.
In Full Metal Alchemist, they call that the law of equivalent exchange.
With 4 minutes left in play, the Vaudeville Vixens are going to have a power jam situation if they can take lead jammer status within the next minute.
Don't forget the after party tonight, guys. The Shamrock Bar, Frequency, and Paradise. Come join us to celebrate these wins tonight.
And we have an official timeout, and it looks like the captains are being called to Whistler, and he is telling them something or other of great import. Oh, when the
This
smoke
time out,
clears.
brought to you by Velvet Waxing Studios. Let Velvet Waxing Studio assist you with your blocker and take a few laps around our hair-free services. Velvet Waxing. Put your unwanted hair in the penalty box by calling Velvet Waxing Studio for a hair-free glider on the track. Wart, Back Porch Radio in Madison. Tune in any time of the day or night to hear great alternative music, news, and public affairs programming.
I want to give a shout out to the Quad Squad. And happy birthday, Busta.
Mayor Shuren Cardwell, Physicians for Women. It's not the number of women we treat, it's how we treat women.
I'm 50 Shades of Green.
What does that mean?
I don't know, you gotta ask Kermit
I like it.
or Miss Piggy.
I'll buy it.
Hey, I know that dude.
Well, by golly, when's the next bout right here, I tell you? Is that April 6th? Is that correct? Is that my understanding?
April 6th, indeed. Yes.
I'm feeding you guys lines. Riff on it.
I'm eating it.
April 6th, our next bout here at the Coliseum. We roll on Shabbos, a Big Lebowski themed bout. Come dressed as your favorite dude, Walter, Jesus, or Nihilist, and win a funky prize.
All right, the reason for the zebra huddle was that the referees had an official review. They thought that the jammer was called out on a... Oh gosh, you just told me. They thought she was called out on a track cut, however, it was an out-of-play block. I got the memory of a goldfish. But a really bright goldfish. And we have got...
We seem to be shy one jammer in this jam.
We got something going on.
Actually, we don't have anything going on. We just have a clock running down.
This is actually a jam. This jam is going on. One of
Here
those
we
weird
go.
situations
Dolly
where you
Parton
have
me out
both
of Jammer
jammers.
Jail and into the fray, and she is obviously your lead jammer.
It's one of those bizarre situations where both jammers are and remain in the penalty box. We were too busy informing you of our awesome sponsors to pay attention to what was really going on. Dolly Parton me hits that wall. Oh, black. She's through. She's past one. She's past 2.5. She's through. That's going to be a grand slam for Dolly Parton me.
Let's give these Vixens your love. We got less than 3 minutes left in this bout.
Cruel Whip breaks through the pack on her initial pass as Dolly Parton gets knocked to the outside by Carmageddon.
Carmageddon did a real nice job of escorting Dolly Parton me out, but the impact of that block was negated by Darling Nikki blocking Carmageddon out. That meant that Dolly Parton me did not have to return to the track behind the person who blocked her out, and that's why things are like they are. This time it is Senorita Slam who is blocking Dolly Parton me out. Dolly Parton me back in.
2 minutes left in this game.
And Dolly Parton me has apparently been called on a major track cut.
I think Dolly Parton me came in front of Senorita Slam. Senorita Slam was the blocker who knocked her out of bounds. I think that's what happened. If not, it's close enough. But not before another grand slam for the Vaudeville Vixens, I tell you.
113 to 197 with a little under 2 minutes left to play. We have Yam Kapow wearing the star for the Double Crossers.
We almost had 2 pivots for the Vaudeville Vixens. We now have 1 pivot, 3 blockers, no jammer. That's the unfortunate part. Yam Kapow will be jamming unopposed in what might be the last jam of the game. Well, that is a track cut on Yam Kapow. That is going to free Dolly Parton me. Vaudeville Vixens suddenly in a power jam situation. Let's see if Dolly can pull a 84-point jam out of her deep bag of tricks.
There's 47 seconds left on the time clock, but 1 minute and 30 seconds left on the jam clock. The jam clock supersedes the time clock. Oh, Bussy Barbender busting up Dolly Parton me something fierce.
Iceberg stayed just in bounds enough that Dolly Parton me had to go and re-enter the pack behind her.
Now, as Yam Kapow was in jammer jail, she is not your lead jammer anymore. She cannot call off this jam. It will go for the remaining 1 minute.
We have a whistle of some sort, and we have
2 points for Dolly Parton me. She's your lead jammer. She calls off the jam.
And not only that, but we had the Vaudeville Vixens calling a timeout with just scant seconds. That ensures that we're going to have 1 more jam in this final half of the final bout of today's roller derby festivities.
Let me hear your love for your Vixens.
That is generally why you always keep 1 timeout in your pocket, so you can call it when the clock is under 30 seconds to go and you want to have 1 more jam. 2 seconds left on the official clock. I don't believe it'll matter all that much. This one will likely go until either A, the jammer for the Double Crossers obtains lead jammer and calls it off, or B, things run out naturally. Or C, the Vaudeville Vixens just give up. But on the jammer line for the first time tonight, wearing number 01. Is that correct? I believe it is. That is Daisy Juke. How about that? And also, for the first time tonight on the jammer line is Danny Get Your Guns, number 22 caliber for the Double Crossers. I think we had an official call off of that jam.
Let's try that again.
There's some official... Meanwhile, the clock says that the score is final and it's under 9 minutes to go. 2 seconds left on that clock. 2 seconds, I believe. Clock in front of us is correct. Clock over there was not. 2 seconds left. As you may or may not know, the jam will go until the jam runs out or somebody calls it off. It does not end on the game clock. So you can have almost 2 full minutes of extra roller derby.
all our support and all of our refs and our DJ and us.
The announcers here rock.
We've got a high block on.
Everyone who's here tonight, thank you
Danny,
for
get your-
coming and helping.
Danny Get Your Guns on her way to Jammer Jail, giving Gertrude away, or I'm sorry, Daisy Juke a power jam if she can get through.
We've got a back block major on Clearly Dangerous. It is a lead jammer for your Vaudeville Vixens, and Daisy Juke. It's also a power jam situation. Should you wish to encourage your hometown team, that might not be a bad time to do it. If not, we
Ouch,
understand.
ouch, ouch,
We
that
maintain
hurts.
strict neutrality in all matters.
See, if I fall on my fan, it doesn't hurt as bad. But it hurts when you fall.
And Daisy Juke gets through for a 5-point grand slam.
We've got maximum occupancy of the double crossers. Penalty box.
5
and
more
Daisy
points for
Juke.
Vixens.
Yeah! And she made it out of the pack again.
That makes this a 15-point jam for Daisy Juke and your Vaudeville Vixens.
Danny Gets Your Guns must have really liked it in the penalty box. She's heading back out. That is going to extend this power jam until possibly the
There you
end of the
go.
game, and that is all she wrote. She's over on time. One more grand slam for your Vaudeville Vixens, and Daisy Juke.
Generally speaking, that was 20 points for Daisy Juke and the Vaudeville Vixens.
That's not a bad first jam of the evening. Not a bad last jam of the evening. Going all the way around.
If there had been a few more middle jams like that.
Well, come on out and exchange some more roller derby girl germs like you read so much about on the internet.
Say goodbye.
It's good to be inoculated about these things.
On behalf of Reverend Norb, Dreamboat, Fanny, Zoe Dash, and Hill, and myself, we'd like to thank you all for coming out. Please come down and high-five the skaters and thank them for a job well done and a night full of steampunky entertainment at the Mad Rollin Dolls bout tonight. Please join us again on April 6th for We Roll on Shabbos. Dress as your favorite Big Lebowski character. If you make a giant can of chocolate nuts coffee and come in a cremated Donnie, I'll give you a prize on principle.
Hey. Good job! Okay, I'm done. All right, I'm done.
I'll just wave as they go by. The Mad Rollin Dolls, thank you for coming. Ta-ta.